Jerome, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I really enjoy looking at your research, and what I found really compelling with the stuff you sent in for this interview, the most loved stocks, Rent the Runway and Etsy. What does that tell us about the U.S. consumer?
Good morning, Seema. Well, absolutely. This is going to be another jolly holiday season for retailers. But as you mentioned, our market site data at Refinitiv does tell us that some of the most loved stocks when it comes to retail in 2021 were Rent the Runway, Etsy, and in some cases even eBay made the top list throughout some of the months. And this is mainly because health and wellness has been a top priority for the consumer during the pandemic. And as a result, many shoppers have made a commitment to change the way they shop and go to the secondhand and to the vintage shopping, and in order to promote more of a circular economy. Not only that, but they actually do love the value and the deals that they're getting at these retailers. And analysts polled by Refinitiv are very bullish on this trend and have been increasing their earnings estimates for a lot of these retailers going into 2022, suggesting that this trend is here to stay and is expected to get stronger.
You know, Jerome, when we think about the big risks facing retail, we think one, inflation, two, supply chain. Which companies from your research show that they've done a better job at managing these headwinds?
The discounters, without a doubt, definitely Walmart, Target, and even Home Depot and Lowe's. And that's mainly because they've invested a lot of money into the omni-channel experience, and this paid off during the pandemic. They've gained a lot of market share. But to your point about the inflation, we're already seeing in the latest reading of our consumer sentiment index that the consumer is very much concerned about what this could mean for their standard of living going into 2022, especially the low-end consumer, as they are already feeling the pinch. A lot of the dollar stores, especially Dollar Tree, already changed their business model after 35 years, where they have increased their prices from $1 to $1.25. And according to our IFR data, the inflation is expected to loom into the first half of the year of 2022.
Athleisure, I'm just curious, Jerome, does the research suggest this is a trend that continues into 2022? We know that during the pandemic, we were all in our sweatpants, but guess what? It didn't stop, did it? Based on the latest results we got from Lululemon.
Absolutely. It didn't stop. And not only Lululemon, but also we're seeing that consumers are trading down and they're going to the discounters, especially now during inflationary times. But Target is also a favorite when it comes to athleisure at a less price compared to the higher $100 yoga pants that we see at Lululemon. You can get a very similar merchandise in athleisure, and they've become a favorite one during the pandemic. So we're seeing that the athleisure trend is still very strong, especially as health and wellness continue to be a top priority for consumers. Sporting goods also doing very well. And then also the home furnishing and home improvement are sectors that continue to do well. It's also very important to know that this holiday season, we saw much less aggressive discounting than what we've seen in previous year. Refinitiv discovered in a collaboration with Style Sage. But despite the lower discounts, we're still seeing that items are flying off the shelf and the sold out rates are still very high.